depression, low mood, the black dog, whatever you want to call it. It's a horrible feeling when that fucking blanket of it starts weighing down on you. And I've been through this many times in my life, and I still get it occasionally. But the difference now, I would say, is that I have ways of dealing with it, and this is things that I use to help my clients that are dealing with depression or low mood, or the black dog, or just that kind of state of mind, basically. And don't get me wrong, it's still fucking horrible to have to deal with, but I do have some ways and some methods that have been pretty effective in stopping it from getting worse and spiraling out of control. So I'm going to give you 5 ways. They sound super weird, some of them, so bear with me. The first one is weird. It's thanking it. So being grateful that I have this low mood, because the chances are it's probably there for a reason. It's there for a reason in my mind and body. It's there to slow me down. So I almost treat it like an actual person, and I say thank you, because, as I said, there's a reason why I'm going through this thing, and it's not a particularly fucking pleasant gift to receive, but I take it as a sign that I need to slow down, or I need to change something. I need to change my attitude. I need to change my environment. I need to take action on something. So what I do in that instance is I break state physically and mentally. I go and do something else. I get out of that room, or I get out of that environment, and physically, and I find that helps create a little bit of a shift sometimes, just to kind of take the edge off of things. The number 2 is to do with the 4 R's. So recognize how you're feeling and just acknowledge it, and just say, okay, I'm in a shit mood. I'm feeling really low. But reassess. This is the second R. What else could it mean? Could it mean that you've had a crap night's sleep? Could it mean that you've eaten a load of junk food? Were you boozing the night before? Try and put things into perspective. Have you got a lot of things going on at work? Have you got like some family things going on? Is there a lot of emotion kicking around? Could it be something else? Chances are it probably is. It doesn't necessarily mean that it is some kind of depression or something that's taking hold of you. Excuse my phone there. Then reframe it. So I look at, like, okay, I don't want to feel like this. How do I want to feel instead? What is the complete fucking opposite of how I feel right now? And I think about how I want to feel, and I just kind of move myself in that direction. I orient myself in that direction. So what is the opposite? And the 4th R is to renew my priorities, or renew our priorities. So I look at what I want to achieve that day, even if it's just one little goal, just one little thing that I can tick off that to-do list. Is it just something I can get my teeth into, that's not thinking about how low I am? And is it a project? Is it something I can work on? Or is it something I could just treat myself to? So, is there something I can do for myself physically and mentally that's going to help lift me out of this state? If that doesn't work, then again, I think about, okay, how do I really want to be feeling and acting instead? And I sit alone with that, and I just allow that image to grow. And it's kind of hard to shake the image of, or the feelings, that say, of depression and the darkness that goes with that. But I try to add some colour to it. I tried to add some movement to it. I try my best to just visualize what not being in that state would be like, and what is the complete opposite, and really pay attention to that. So how am I looking? What do I look like? How am I feeling inside? How am I acting? How does my voice sound? How am I moving? How am I standing? Am I hunched over? Am I Am I looking up to the sky? Am I looking at the floor? And once I've sort of created that picture of how I want to be instead, I just try my best to move into that picture. So I really, really try and visualize that that is real. And then following that, I open my eyes and look up and just try and make that picture as vivid as I possibly can. And then sit there for as long as I possibly can, just holding on to that image. And there's another one that we can try as well. So again, if it's really getting a hold of you, think about 4 things you can see, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can touch, 1 thing you can smell or taste. So 4, 3, 2, 1. 4 things you can see around you, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can touch, 1 thing you can smell or taste. So that's basically like an anchoring technique. And the final thing is just free writing or journaling or whatever you want to call it. Just write whatever comes into your mind. So you just sit there with a pen and paper and a notebook, and just whatever comes out, just write it down, because it's better on that bit of paper than floating around in your head. If it's really negative shit that's on the page, extra bit of advice would be to not dwell on that, not keep reading it over and over again. If you can, just rip it up or burn it. But the act of doing that, again, you're just dumping it out of your brain onto paper. So I hope those things are useful. Try one of them, try all of them. If you find that depression or low mood, or the black dog, or whatever it is that you affectionately call it, starts to take hold. But yeah, let me know how you get on.